Hello guys, welcome again to Verified So. I hope you're doing fine. So let me discuss in this video the errors that you should avoid at all cost when you're making your application into the DV lottery. So get ready and also go through this video to the end and understand what mistakes you're supposed to avoid. The first mistake is about the names. Error on the names may appear to be simple, but we've seen some individuals getting denied the visa simply because they confused their names or they omitted their names. And in an earlier video, I told you that you should have your birth certificate during your application. And the birth certificate comes in handy because the names that will appear on your birth certificate are the names that you're going to use here. So don't make a mistake in omitting the name or making errors in the names. Use the birth certificate. If the birth certificate has 3 names, the family name, the first name, and the middle name, use the same exact name in here. If it has 2, maybe you don't have the family name, then use the first name and the middle name as indicated on your birth certificate. But that's a rare case. However, there is an exception. The exception is if you are currently married and you took the surname of your spouse to be part of your legal name. That is the name that you fill in here. And that will be supported by the legal marriage certificate. If you don't have the legal marriage certificate, you cannot claim the name of your husband as the surname. If you have the marriage certificate and your name changed legally and you took the surname of your spouse, that is when you will use it here. Sorry guys, I'm in a noisy place, but I hope we shall get to understand each other. Now, the birth certificate, as I've said, is paramount. It's very important. Have it when you're filling in your DV lottery application. The next mistake that you should avoid is making errors in your birth date. Your birth date must appear exactly as it appears on your birth certificate. Remember, the birth date is very important even at the time when you will be checking for your results. Don't make any mistake when filling in the birth date. Use the exact dates on the birth certificate. Another mistake that you should avoid is incorrectly indicating your birthplace. Do you see how important the birth certificate is? The birthplace that appears on your certificate, be it a city or a village, the exact name should be inscribed in this place. If it's a village, put it here. It doesn't matter if it's a city or a village. You put it as the birth city, even if it is a village. The exact name of the place that you are born that appears on your birth certificate, you put it as the birth city in this place. The next mistake that you should avoid at all cost is when selecting the country where you are born. I know some of those that will be applying will be staying or living in a different country from where they were born. If you are in that case, don't make a mistake of selecting the country that you are currently living in or the country of your current citizenship as your birth country. The birth country always remains the country in which you are born, and that country is indicated on your birth certificate. Use that and don't make a mistake of confusing that. When we come to the country of eligibility, the mistake that we should not do here is selecting the country of eligibility that is not correct. And this means if your country of eligibility is the country of your birth, then you select yes here. Are you claiming eligibility based on the country where you're born? If the country of eligibility is the country from where you're born, you say yes, and don't make the mistake of saying no. But if you're claiming the country of your spouse or the country of your parents, then you say no here, and you select the country of your spouse or your parent. The other mistake that you should not do, don't insert an incorrect photo here. Remember, the photo that you should take should be 2 inch by 2 inch or 600 megapixel by 600 megapixel, and the background should be white or off-white, and you should be facing the camera directly, the ears balanced, both visible, and you should not be wearing a cape or any other scarf unless it is a religional scarf. But all the qualities of the photo that I discussed in an earlier video should be stuck to, and upload the correct photo. Don't make a mistake of uploading a wrong photo. The other mistake, and I want to speak on this because there are many questions asked or raised by you concerning this, the mailing address. The mailing address should be filled as follows. In care of means that you're using another individual's email, and that person will be the one taking care of your mail. When it is sent to you, he or she will receive on behalf of you. But remember, in the DV lottery program, nothing will be sent to you. So that should not worry you. Nothing should be sent to you. But for the address, make sure you put the address of the current location you are living in, where you are staying at. You select the city and the town where you're currently living without making any mistake, and the district or county and province or state. Now, when we come to the postal code or the zip code, here is where many people get confused, and let me clear the cloud now. You either insert the postal code or the zip code, either of the two. If you insert the zip code, you should not insert the postal code, and if you insert the postal code, you should not insert the zip code. Some countries use the zip code and some countries use the postal code, and this postal code is very important. Look for the postal code of your current location and use it in this place. The only time that you select no postal code or no zip code is if in that country they don't use the postal code system or the zip code system. If you cannot find the postal code of your location, of which is very hard, or the zip code, then you select no postal code. And of course, you select the current of your current location. The country where you live. This is the country in which you are staying at the moment. It should not be the country of your birth. You might be living in a different country from the country where you are born. The country that you are currently at should be inserted here. Don't make that mistake of putting a different country here. Then the phone number is optional, but you can put it, but it's optional. But when we come to the email address, the error that many people make, they insert email address and then they forget the email address they used. So when you're filling your DV loan info application, use a valid email, and number two, don't forget that email. The email that you use, please preserve it, because to this email will the KCC do all the communication to you. The email should be very correctly filled. Sorry for the noise, but that is it. Don't make an error in filling in the email address. The other mistake that you should avoid at all costs is on selecting the education level. And I did a detailed video that I'm going to attach that discussed into detail how you are supposed to select this. Don't make a mistake, and please visit that video and watch it. I'm going to attach it above here. The other mistake that you should avoid at all cost, don't select this area of the marital status if you've not understood it. And let me explain it, though I did it in another video. For unmarried, it is for all single parents, all single individuals that are not married. If you have a child or if you have not. If you are unmarried, you select unmarried. And then we have these two marital status here, married. The first one here is when you're married to a spouse that is not a US citizen. And the second one is when you're married to a person that is a US citizen or a lawful permanent resident. Be careful when selecting this. Divorced, widowed, and legally separated. This field, when you are selecting, don't make a mistake. If you don't have the separation documents, don't select legally separated. If you don't have the death certificate, don't select this, because how will you prove? If you don't have the divorce certificate, how will you prove? Don't select this. Only when you have these legal documents, you select this. And the same case applies to the married one. If you have the marriage certificate, means you legally married, then you select these two options, either of the two. I hope that is clear. The final mistake that you should avoid at all costs, and many people err in this area. If you have any kid or any child that is your legal child, that is your biological child or your stepchild, you must plug their number here. Biological children plus adopted children plus stepchildren, they all qualify, and you should insert them here. If you have 3, you put 3, the number 3. If you have 2, put the number 2. If you make a mistake and you indicate 2, whereas you have 3, be sure you'll be denied your diversity visa. If you indicate none and yet you have children, you will be denied your visa. But if you indicate you have children and yes, you don't have your biological or stepchildren or adopted children, then you'll be lying and you'll get denied the visa. Be very accurate. The child to your uncle is not your child. The child to your sister is not your child. Only the biological child, that is the natural child, the adopted, and the stepchildren qualify. Those are the mistakes that you should avoid at all costs when doing this DV2024 application, if at all you want to increase your chances of getting selected and successfully going through the DV process. And with that, I come to the end. I hope the video is useful. Please do a favor and like the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. And let's meet in another video.